This is Up for Debate, episode number 239, recorded August 17th, 2022. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode Up for Debate, the debate podcast where the two hosts agree on everything. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by the original BFG. That's right, the best friend guy. It's Matt Mariani. Hello, Matt.
Aw, that was really nice. That was a nice intro. How are you, Sean?
And I came up with it on the fly, so I'll take credit for that. I'm doing great, Matt.
Better ones.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
The summer's coming to an end. And with it, our grand trek into the world of video game movie adaptations. Thank God.
Yeah, and according to this film that we watched today, we've only got about 4 more years, I guess, until they discover the portal to hell. And of course, it's under Nevada. That totally makes that tracks. Yeah.
How do you think they even found it? Like they said it was archaeologists, but how did you just stumble on it, or like?
They were probably the same archaeologists that have been looking for the lost city of gold,
maybe,
since forever, and maybe they were commissioned by the History Channel to go down there and
honestly
find the city of gold or the city of aliens.
They should have just called. They should have just called the guys who found the Stargate, which is the same plot as this movie. Have you seen Stargate, Matt? That seems like a movie you would have watched.
I have not. I've not seen any of the Stargate. No, not the show, not the movie, none of it. I'm aware of it. I'm kind of loosely familiar with the concept. Interstellar travel through the Stargate.
Yeah, but it's ancient. It's ancient Egypt. It was buried, and archaeologists found a portal.
Yes.
To space.
Yes, loosely familiar with the concept. Yeah. I've just never seen the movie. But
Matt, we're not here to talk about Stargate. We're here to talk about yet another video game movie adaptation, 2005's Doom, based on the video games series of the same name. We've got, Matt, someone get your telescope, because we've got a world of stars in this one. That's right. All your favorites, from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to Carl Urban to Rosamund Pike. And that's it.
Actually, there's one kind of known person in here that I was surprised to have stumbled upon. The one who plays the weird pervert Marine.
Oh, Richard Blake.
I don't remember.
Richard Blake's the actor.
Yeah, he played the Night King in Game of Thrones.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but that's great. No, he seems like a Game of Thrones kind of guy.
And that's about it. I mean, what kind of surprised me about the cast, I don't know if you knew this, but according to IMDb, Dwayne Johnson is the only American-born actor of all the main actors involved.
Fascinating.
He also was offered the lead role of John Grimm, but he turned it down. He said that he thought the role of Sarge was more interesting. I couldn't see him in that role as Grimm.
It was a good call.
It was probably a good call. The only way it would have worked is if they had gotten with the original plan, if they had followed through, was actually to have Arnold Schwarzenegger play Sarge. The reason that fell through is there was a controversy that the movie was supposed to be made in the late 90s. There was a controversy about kids were playing with a chainsaw, because in the game you have a chainsaw attachment to your some of the guns. They were playing with the chainsaw and pretending to be the Doom guys, and I guess they mutilated or killed each other with the chainsaw. And so they could not greenlight the film in that context. So that film got canned, and then eventually I guess Schwarzenegger, he was either getting too old or he passed up. Maybe he had other commitments, couldn't fulfill the role. Somewhere in a parallel universe, he was in this movie alongside either Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Dominic Toretto, our very own Vin Diesel, also was
which is crazy
for
because
the role.
He would have been just coming off of the Chronicles of Riddick, so which I think is not similar, but not dissimilar either. So could have been a nice through line for him.
Right.
He's in the new Avatar movie, Vin Diesel.
Yes, I heard that somewhere. I don't know where.
It's on his Wikipedia page, so go figure.
Okay. Yeah. He's confirmed that he is in fact there, yeah.
One of those blue
Imagine
cat
him
people.
with blue face.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I might go see it just for that.
Because the obvious thing is for him to play a militaristic human bad guy. But make him a Navi, goddammit, James Cameron, come on.
Oh, they're going to. I fully expect them to. You can't get Vin Diesel and then not bluify him.
Now, Matt, as is tradition on the show, we spoil our opinions right up at the top. We don't keep it a secret from the fans. I want to hear your opinion on this movie, Matt. Overall.
You want my opinion on this movie?
Yeah, give us the overall. Give us the headline.
I guess I didn't want to bury the lead, because this one this might surprise you, Sean. What was your opinion of the movie?
I like how I ask you and you turn it around and you ask me.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, Doom is interesting to me because I'm not a video game player. I've never been a video game guy. But I am pop culture knowledgeable, which means I know things about things I haven't seen or done. So I knew what Tomb Raider was. I knew what Super Mario Brothers was, even though I never really played the games. But Doom is one of those pop culture black spots for me where I just know nothing about the game. I don't know why it was popular. I don't know what it's about. I don't know any of the history of it. So I was a little blind coming into this movie. So I decided I was going to watch the movie trailer first for Doom, get a little flavor of what I was going to watch. And the trailer was horrible. It was a bad trailer, and it made the movie look so crappy. And so I was dreading watching it. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. Now, again, it was the same with Tomb Raider. Am I saying this is a good movie overall? No. But were there enough elements for me to like smile throughout and kind of enjoy watching it? Yes, I watched it in one sitting. I had no intention of shutting it off. I enjoyed it. What did you think,
Sean?
Matt?
This might be a first in the history of Up for Debate. I kind of liked it too.
What?
And I say it's a first because I was fully expecting, having done the show with you for now like approaching a decade, I was fully expecting you to not like to not like it at all.
I didn't think I was.
I thought you were gonna just come in here and dump all over it. I liked it too. I thought it was and like I said, like I think I'm right where you are, where it's a fine film. It's not like it didn't do anything amazing. It didn't blow my mind. It didn't like, I wouldn't rank it like in my top 30, but it was fine. I thought it was I would dare to even go as say good, but like still somewhere in the middle. It was a lot better than I was expecting and a lot better than I think it deserved this film was critically panned.
Oh, yeah, no, it was heavily disliked. I mean, my term for this movie, it's not that it's good or bad, it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the bar I'm going to set.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
18% on Rotten Tomatoes, average rating of 4 out of 10.
There's barely any plot, and what plot there is weird and not good. The dialogue is fun, I think more so than it has reason, than it has any reason to be. I think the acting is fun. And it just... I wrote in my notes, I swear to God, 80% of this movie is people slowly walking through the dark.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it.
It's another dark movie. We've kind of trended with that this summer. I feel like we've watched a lot of dark movies, like just dark in terms of absence of light, not like thematically dark. But this was another dark movie, assuming to cover up the bad CG, which there wasn't really that much bad CG,
and it was
even to
and
cover up.
There was some decent practical effects. You know, I thought towards the end of the movie when the Rock is turning into the monster there, I think the effects, those were practical, and I thought they were pretty decent.
For me, the story and the characterization is really where this film shines, where Doom as a movie shines. I think that they really do a good job crafting the characters, and I know, like, it's hard to do that as number one with this many characters, right? Because the whole team, basically the whole team of Marines, you know, you had to go out of and they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go out of their way to craft each of their personalities. They gave each of them like a minor backstory. They touched on their character development, on their sense of character, like their individuality. They didn't have to do any of that. Right? They could have just said, these are just, 6 or 7 dudes. Most of them are going to die in these tunnels. But they go out of their way to, like, kind of get you attached and get you to liking them, which really, I think, goes a long way for me. I think that they really goes a long way, because then when now that you're attached to the characters, you want to see the film play out, right? You have your favorites. Will they die? Will they not die? I certainly hope, like, this one makes it. This guy's a sleazebag. I hope he whatever happens to him, I don't really care. I really like that. They do a good job. Now, are they a little two-dimensional? Yeah. I mean, like, you got
but you want that in this movie. You don't want, like, real character depth and motivation and growth in this kind of movie.
No, because it would take too much time. And the runtime was pretty fair. I thought, like, it was a little over 2 hours, I think, or no, a little under. I mean, I was going to say 2 hours.
There is an extended director's cut.
I watched the unrated version.
Okay, then you probably saw the director's cut. I watched the unrated version because the Rock swears a lot.
Yes, a lot of swearing.
But that was about an hour 40. The director's cut's over 2 hours.
Mine was an hour 53, but most credits and things like that. But you're right. You don't want to spend too much time on that. You don't want to spend too much time with making a backstory. You kind of want it to grow organically, and I thought they did a good job. I really liked the dynamic, even though I didn't think that the actors at all did it justice, but I liked the dynamic that they were going for between the characters, Grimm and Grimm, John Grimm and Sam Grimm, the Dr. Grimm. As brother and sister, having that backstory. Again, I didn't like the character. The actors didn't have any chemistry whatsoever between each other, but I liked the way it was written, giving them, a commonality. And in the end, I think they had the most development throughout the movie, especially John Grimm. Like he definitely definitely has a lot of development as his character. But I love the twists. There were some really genuinely unexpected twists in the movie that I really didn't see coming.
This movie did such a good job. Well, first of all, I think the brother and sister decision was one of the best the movie made, not making them love interests, because it allows you to focus on them as character and not there's no will they won't they kind of stuff. It's like, no, they're focused on the same goal even though they have a backstory, and there's no distractions from that. So that was smart. But I think the best thing this movie does is pacing. This movie, I wrote in my notes, it's wild that only 20 minutes into the movie, they're already on Mars looking for the monster. I looked at my mom, like, what are they doing for the next hour and 20 minutes? Like, they can't do this for the whole movie, and they do, but it doesn't feel long because of the way they bring pairs and trios of characters together and then split them apart and mix and match them in different parts. And then the reveal of the monsters where they really slow roll that, where at first it's like, no, it's just a crazy guy, and then, oh, maybe there's something more sinister going on. And it's like, oh, they're monsters, and it's like, the monsters are people, and it's like, but the people are coming back to life. Like, they really space that out so well that it doesn't feel monotonous. Like, you actually enjoy the whole length of the film, even though they're just doing the same things over and over.
Yeah, and it's one thing I think where the film could potentially have gotten stuck is that it's the scenery is very one note, right? It's all just underground caverns and underground
visually
labs.
Bland. There's
very
nothing
bland.
visually
Yeah,
interesting about this.
So the struggle. I mean, I think the story then has to shine to make up for that, and I think the story really is the best part of the film. And we could talk the special effect. I thought that the fact that they didn't, it would have been so easy for a film that came out in 2005 to lean on the CGI, and I don't really think they did. I think that, I mean, more or less they used it where they had to, and I think as a result, this film has aged better than a film like Tomb Raider because they didn't overutilize the special effects, the computer generated special effects specifically. Because that really could have aged. Imagine if they had like computerized everything, the caverns, it would have just looked like a really old, crappy video game. But now you have not played the games, correct? You didn't play the original Doom?
No, so I did do a little research before the episode tonight after watching the movie. Saw a little playthrough, kind of. I mean, obviously at the end of the film, and we'll talk about that at some point. The first person perspective of the game, but no, I've never actually played it.
Because I think that also added to my enjoyment in the third act. I remember playing the game. I definitely don't have like a lot of memories of it. Wasn't like one of my favorites, but it was a game that I did play. And that the whole last act with like when you were watching it, the first person, that's a scene I could see in theaters hitting really well. Like people watching it for the first time in a movie theater, when that first person mode kicks in and he's like going around, like, because that's the game. That's pretty much like what that's the game right there. And he's got
it hit hard in It hit hard in my house on my TV. I started cheering because I didn't know it was coming, and I'm like, as soon as he like sits up and you realize it's his, I'm like, and he looks in the mirror and sees himself. I totally know what they're gonna do, and it's going to be the game. It's such a fantastic shot for however many minutes that goes on, where he's killing, different stuff's coming out. I mean, it really did. It felt like a video game without being cheesy. Which I was smiling ear to ear during that, because I'm like, this is very cool.
Yeah. The first person shot reveal hit very hard for me. The BFG reveal hit very hard for me. Another little addition that I put in my notes, and this is kind of where I guess I started liking the movie. Like I went in it with the headspace of like, I don't really know like what I'm gonna expect here, how it's gonna land. But where the whole thing changed for me is when the first see the BFG before The Rock actually acquires it.
Yeah, you see it like on a computer screen.
They do the camera shot of like they like rotate around the gun to make it look like the gun is rotating. Because that's how in the game all of the weapons would like do that slow rotate before you would pick them up. Another little fun thing I picked up online is that the BFG is stored in a locker that is designated IDKFA, which is the in-game cheat code that players would type in order to get unlimited weapons and ammo. So that was kind of a cool little nod.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They had a couple of other little nods, I guess, to the game and to the studio that produced the game. They had that beating heart in the jar is actually the symbol of the game studio that made Doom. So I thought that was kind of cool. They do little, and I love that it's not it's an homage, but it doesn't beat you over the head with references. Oh, remember, like they could have been really obnoxious with it and been like, oh, remember the BFG? Like here it is in every scene. Like we'll keep talking about it. We'll keep calling it the BFG. Instead, like you see the words BFG on like a computer screen, and you know exactly what it is. They don't have to keep referencing it over and over. I like that. I think we talked about that when we talked about Street Fighter. We talked about how it was
Lean
good
into
with yes, it was subtle references and homages, but not like so, in your face constantly that it's just going to keep beating you over the head with references. So that was kind of nice. But yeah. Overall, not that bad.
No, I mean, I thought the acting overall, I thought was good for what they were given. Like, we might disagree on this a little bit. I'm not going to beat up any one particular actor. Rosamund Pike grew on me as the film went on. I thought Karl Urban was fine. I think Dwayne Johnson really is the star of the movie from an acting perspective. They give him, I mean, he just delivered those one-liners like it's nobody. Man, can that guy shout. He's so good at shouting. And I think the absolute funniest moment of the movie, I literally laughed out loud, was when he said, was when he gets pulled out the door and he says, "I'm not supposed to die." Because it's true. I'm like, well, The Rock isn't going to die. He's the star of the movie. And he's like, "I'm not supposed to die." And then obviously he comes back. But there's definitely some good one-liners in this. Yeah,
that was a good line. Especially, given the fact that it's The Rock, and that for the entire movie, he's the hero, right? He is the
which is
protagonist for more or less.
That turn, and again, that's what's good about the structure of this movie, because you're not totally surprised. Like, he's clearly been like a mission guy and all this. Like, it's not a shock, but you as a viewer who are used to seeing movies like this, we've seen it over and over and over again. You expect that, oh, he's going to realize the error of his ways. He's going to be the hero in the end. And the fact that he just straight isn't was great. I love that.
No, that was one of a few unexpected twists that I think kept the story fresh. And this could have just been like a basement shooter. It could have just been a shooter in
Frozen.
Oh.
But the thing is, the way the setup works is he could be talking and recording right now, and we're talking over each other. Are you there, Matt? Earth to Matt. Hello? Matt? I think he's back. I don't know if he can hear me. Matt, are you there? Nope. And Matt, he just hung up.